Hello, my name's Will, and I'm with the Rock Church Prison Ministry. And I just want to give you some understanding about penpal and the penpal ministry. We have a letter writing volunteer guide that I'm going to go over. And this is, what the expectations are, okay? First of all, you have to be a Christian, number one. You have to be able to attend life class as a Rock member. We need you attending the life class so we can see where your gifts and talents are. And we also want to be able to ensure that you are a practicing member of being a Christian. And so we want to have a faithful pen pal who's going to write at least once a month, and to foster healthy and trusting relationship with an inmate. So first of all, guys to guys, girls to girls, these two lines shall never cross. They are written in stone. We don't want to have individuals sharing intimate stuff that shouldn't be shared. So we also want to have you look at the church's statement of faith about, believing in Jesus Christ, that he is the Son of God, and that he is bringing everybody to him, and that you can trust in Jesus and that you become a follower of him. The other thing is you have to be 18 years of age. You want to be a friend when you write. You're not to be a preacher. You're supposed to just talk to this individual, or write to this individual, as a friend or as somebody that you're mentoring. You don't want to get so preachy to them that they just turn off. You talk about your interests, your profession, your hobbies. You encourage them to talk about themselves. You want to be able to, share some of their dreams and hopes that they have. That way you're able to speak to those things. How often should you write? You should be able to write at least once a month. I have 3 pen pals, and I usually write to them twice a month. And so it depends. I usually wait till I get a letter, and then I send a letter back. Often you want to commit to at least just really one. You can do 2 or 3, however you want it. You are in control of that. At least do it once a month. And if your pen pal doesn't write to you, you can always reach back to the pen pal leader, who is Don Thomas, and you can email him at prison ministry. Let me try this again. It's going to be at penpal@sdrock.com. Okay, you can email him there. You could also send an email to prison ministry at sdrock, or prison@sdrock.com. And we will get back to you and find out what's going on with your pen pal. So, please communicate with us if there's any issues. Once a pen pal match has been made, the inmate will then, you're going to send them a introductory letter. Okay, that introductory letter, there's going to be guidelines around that. Okay, so that introductory letter, you're not going to ever use your email address or something like that. You're not going to give them your home address. You're not going to give them your full name. And so when you write to them, you're going to use the church's prison ministry P.O. box, okay? And that's prison ministry pen pal, P.O. box 60116. Attention, your first name, or a pseudonym, whatever you want to put in there. Also, it'll be San Diego, California, 92166. Okay, so just make sure you follow those guidelines that I'm going to give you here, the do's and don'ts. So as you go through the do's, you want to be a Christian friend to these inmates. Okay, don't try to get along with them like, hey, bud, that kind of a thing. No, they're a pen pal, and you want to treat them that way. A couple of, when in doubt, ask the pen pal coordinator what, if they're trying to get some information from you and you're not really sure whether you should give it or not, definitely email penpal@sdrock.com. Share your faith with the inmate. Keep your objectivity. Try not to judge too much about what's going on here, but use reason. Okay. Only give out the P.O. box address to the inmates. Be dependable. Okay. Write to them. When they send you a letter, write back. Be patient. Sometimes we can get frustrated with our pen pal, trying to get money from us, trying to get these things. Number one, you're not the bank. Do not give them money, okay? That's not what your purpose is, okay? Be patient, be honest, be a good listener. Read into the letter a little bit. I always read it twice. I want to read it one time ahead of time, right when I get it, and then I want to read it again as I get ready to do my letter. Always be aware of the con games that they might be trying to play. If they're trying to get this, nobody ever does this, or all these different things that you wonder about. Always ask us if there's something that you're curious about, whether or not it's true, or if it's something you need to be cautious about. Never. There's no bad questions. Okay, definitely ask. Be trustworthy when the inmate shares personal and confidential information with you. Okay, that's information between you and them. If it's something that you're questioning, okay, what should I do with this? We have myself and we have Doris. Doris is my assistant. And so if there's a question that you're not sure that you should respond back to, or you don't even know what the right answer is there, then you can reach out to myself or her. All you have to do is email prisonministry@sdrock.com. She gets the same emails I do. And then try to find best ways to encourage and give hope, okay? The individual might be struggling with their parole hearing and different things like that. They might be struggling with, wanting to get out, but afraid to get out. They may have been in jail for a long time and they're not sure what to do. We have the Encompass group that helps us to be able to help individuals that are getting ready to transition out of jail or prison. And so, always be aware of their solutions that we have already thought of. So please, talk to us about those. Those are good questions to ask. Be kind and courteous to everyone. Okay. Sometimes, your pen pal might get, frustrated or whatever. Give grace. Okay. We always want to do that. Don't make promises you can't keep. Number one, the other thing is don't visit them. You're not a visitor, you're a pen pal. So keep that always straight in your mind. I don't want to have to pull you from the program because you visited them. Okay. If you give them money, you visit them, or they call you, you're going to get pulled from the program. Try not to be a theologian. You're gonna be a friend. Theologians don't have to be a friend. They just tell it how it is, and people follow that. Okay. Try not to be a holier than thou with your attitude. Don't be an expert or a reformer. Don't do this to help yourself. You want to be able to serve them. It's not something that you're going to make yourself better by writing to them. Don't give anything to the inmates. Don't give your telephone number. Don't give money. Don't ask why a person is in prison. They'll tell you if they want to. Don't be preachy or push people into making a decision for Christ. If they're a Christian, they're a Christian. If not, then they're not. And you can share your love, your faith, and by that you're going to help win them to the Lord. And if they want to make a decision to follow Jesus, then that's definitely okay. Let's see. Don't criticize the staff, the institution, races, cultures, countries, religions. Leave that alone. That's not for this, okay? So a pen pal is how they're doing. What is their needs? What can we pray for them? All that kind of stuff. Not, all the other drama that's happening in the world. You can ask them about, what their plans are for the upcoming week. Do they have any special, events that are happening? Do they like a particular, show that's being showed inside the facility? Did they know that that the chosen was put into the facilities by our church? So there's different things that you can kind of share with them. We're trying to get the church services back into the prisons. They go in there. They're a little late. We're trying to do live feeds. But right now, I take all the videos from the church, upload them into a database that Sacramento has, and then they air the services to the prisons. 33 of the state prisons get them, and that's about 220,000 inmates. So they're getting the gospel. Okay, let's say don't enter into personal business transactions with inmates. It could be a felony and you could end up getting prosecuted. You don't want to do that. Another thing is you can't be on parole. If you're wanting to be a pen pal, you can't be on parole. Let's see. Don't give the inmate your home address. Only use the PO box. Don't let the inmate become too familiar with you. How many kids you've got, where you live, all these things. I live in San Diego. That's a pretty big place. I got a couple of kids. They're adults. They've moved out. I'm like an empty nester. Those kind of things. But you don't want to get into my kids at grad school or doing whatever. It's not in any of their business. Let's see. No person of the opposite gender will be allowed to be a pen pal with that inmate. Okay. Again, that's one of the rules. Don't send pictures to the inmate, please. They don't need it. Let's see. Tips. Offer encouragement. Make the inmate know that there's a such thing as a new beginning with Jesus, and that he forgives everyone of every sin. There's not a sin that's greater than the other. Try to understand the inmate's feelings and his or her situation, what they're going through. I have a guy that has been trying to get parole for a couple of years now, and he's not able to get the courses that he needs to be able to show the parole board that he's really wanting and reformed. And so he's afraid of leaving, not knowing where he stands with all of that, and he wants to be paroled, but he's nervous about it as well. So speak to those things, encourage them, let them know that you're praying for them, and there are people that can help them once they transition. So that way they're not just wondering what they're going to do. Let's see. Make sure you understand and acknowledge that the inmate's pain is real. Help to validate the inmate's feelings. Okay, if it's something that they're like, again, they're afraid, they're feeling like they're not going to be able to do well if they come out of prison. You want to encourage them and walk them through the plan. Speak God's word, but be careful not to be preachy. Do not violate the rules set forth in this. Okay, inmates know about breaking rules often more than we do. Okay, I've seen videos as a chaplain where a deputy might be enter into like giving an inmate something, and the moment the inmate gets that, next thing you know, he knows he's got that guy, and that he's going to get him eventually because you gave him one thing. Well, I'm going to tell the watch commander that you gave me something, and then next thing you know, they're dealing in all kinds of things. And I've seen a deputy go from being a deputy, the number one guy. He was like the valedictorian of the deputies. And then next thing you know, he ends up in jail because he violated and entered into agreements with a prisoner. Bad, bad, bad. Okay, so inmates have been exposed to a lot of rejection. Let them know that Jesus was rejected by his family and friends and the world. And so he loves us, and that he's always going to be there for us. Never betray the inmate's trust. Use clean, decent humor whenever possible. Humor heals a lot of wounds. Don't ask personal questions. Let the inmate share whatever he or she wants. And if there's any problem or questions that aren't covered in this video, you want to reach out to us and say, hey, I need some help with this situation. We love hearing your reports. We want to know, praise reports. Don't hesitate to share an email with us at any time. Those praise reports will also go into our monthly meeting report. And so that goes to the pastor, and then he's able to see it. Please pray for your pen pal, your correspondence, that it may lift and be filled with the Lord's wisdom and love. As you minister to your pen pal, know that you're making a change, you're showing friendliness, and that's what God calls us to do as well, okay? So, again, if you have any questions, please reach out to prison@sdrock.com or to the penpal leader, which is penpal@sdrock.com as well. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care now.